hearing these years makes you feel old, but then Tony comes in and says that he played Spider-Man on the Atari in 1978. So, PlayStation wasn't that long ago.
Welcome to Mike Talks Marvel. I'm Mike.
I'm Frank.
And I'm Ashley.
No, you're Bucky Barnes.
Yeah, I should have said that.
So.
You really good. Start over.
All right.
All right. Go.
All right, hold on. Let me hit the intro again.
Everyone, welcome to Mike Talks Marvel. I'm Frank.
Oh, damn it. We gotta start the intro over again.
No!
How's it going, guys?
Fantastic.
Going.
Good. The end.
The end, yeah, end of the episode.
That's it.
So, we caught up. Everything's good.
Tony.
Is Tony there right now? Is Tony here?
As of right now, I don't see any chat with Tony, so we'll give him a moment. Oh, he's here. He's here.
He threatened that there was going to be a lot of typing today.
He did.
So.
He did.
Okay.
All right, so let's fill everyone in. Last week we made our predictions for the show, and Tony predicted that Sharon Carter was going to be the power broker, and we said nay. Said no, it will not. Nope, not going to happen. So we are humbling ourselves today, and we are all quitting the show, and now it's going to be Tony Talks Marvel, which has a ring to it, actually.
Tony Talks
Marvel. So Tony, we're sorry. We should listen to you more often.
But is she actually Sharon? I want to hit an objection.
Well, hold on. Are we jumping right into this with the power broker stuff, or do we want to do overall thoughts on the finale before we dive into the, little points?
All right, I'll put away my objection for now. Let's talk about the show.
I didn't see it.
Silk was in it.
Damn it! Yeah, I watched it. I watched it a lot.
Did you?
I watched it twice.
Okay.
I thought it was great. I thought it was a really great episode. I thought it was a good finale. I didn't think they were going to be able to close everything up, but they obviously left things to still happen, but they gave all the answers that needed to be answered.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it had moments that were very powerful. I cried.
How many times?
I think just once.
Okay.
What did you cry about, Ashley? Because you cry. You like to cry.
Thanks, Mike. Well, I cry over everything, but I'm fairly certain I got teared up 3 times. I only had tears escape at the end. I mostly kept them in, but just like when Falcon was giving his whole speech, and everyone was watching, and Bucky was just kind of smiling and watching, and Isaiah was watching on the TV, I was like, okay, we're good, it's okay. And then of course when Bucky stepped up and went to make his amends and finish off his list, I was just like, so proud of you. Just, oh god. And then, when the whole fight scene was going down, and people were making choices, and even though Walker's having issues clearly, but even he stepped in and helped, and I was like, I'm so sorry, dude, you're going through some shit.
I like the way they did his character, because he never went full bad.
He thinks he's good.
Right.
Even when he does bad things.
He's bad.
Yeah. He thinks he's the good guy. So whatever he does it for the good of the people. It's well.
Yeah. The Falcon speech with the politicians there, you know, it's Marvel, and they're gonna take issues like that and sort of oversimplify them. Like, if only we lived in a world where politicians would just change their mind because of a good speech. But man, it was a good speech.
It was, yeah.
Really, you know, sometimes oversimplifying something can really drive home the point of how simple it is. And just the whole idea of saying, like, you know, gods came down and snapped away half of the population, but you guys are those gods to so many people. You have all those abilities to ruin lives. Was just really well done.
Yeah, for sure. I think it was, I think that speech was like, in a way, it's like, wow, I needed to hear that, but then you remember that it's a fictional show and that would never fly. But it's like, man, I wish that's how it worked.
Yeah.
I mean, it shows like this. I mean, it's almost an escapism, but shows of this nature to really give you that dark mirror and show you, like, this is like the thing that we need. Yeah, it may be a fun, goofy superhero show, but sometimes, you know, the best advice comes from these tentpole, bigger, larger-than-life characters, and the fact that any of us or anyone watching can get anything out of it and really, like, see, like, yeah, society is flawed and there are these large flaws in the real world that we wish they could be fixed is, like, impressive to give enough credit to the writers to really do that. And I agree with Tony that the U.S. agent is a flawed hero, and I got close to crying twice. The one that got me was the memorial for Isaiah. That one's the one that really just got to me.
Yeah, that was a real good one.
Yeah. So we all cried.
Yeah, we all did.
Yeah, I think the more memorial thing was, you know, whenever something like that, I have this super, like, pessimistic mind. My mind always goes to these, like, negative thoughts. So when I saw that, I just thought of all of the real life black heroes throughout time that just never got the recognition they deserved for the things they did.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and that's why these shows are great, because at least in that world, we'll get to see it.
Because
it's true.
If these fictional worlds can do it, then maybe one day the real world will actually reflect it.
Well, you know, there's little kids growing up right now who are going to watch that show, and they're going to see things a little differently than they did yesterday. So,
I hope
Tony's saying how TV shows can inspire real people, and it's like 100% they can, and I hope that
on a post on Facebook, some guy commented on, like, an advertisement for the finale and said, I'm a 40-year-old white guy who's never experienced racism before, and this show really opened up my eyes to a lot. And that was surprising to me because, like, I've always paid attention to those issues a lot, so I didn't learn anything new from the show. I just kind of saw different ways of it being expressed. But I mean, I think that is a thing that a lot of people just don't see what's, like, not right in their worldview. So to get that out there is important.
Yeah, and hopefully, you know, so many people watch superhero shows and stuff like that. It's like, hopefully by seeing that, it can open their eyes and their minds, and maybe, like you said, Frank, maybe one day, you know, I mean, you got to start somewhere. So,
absolutely.
You know, gotta stand up beside the people who need it the most.
Yep. So now, power broker topic here.
Yes. Mike, you had something to say on that, didn't you?
Yeah, I think the most obvious answer to, well, other than it actually being Sharon, is that it's going to be a Skrull. Because there is going to be a Secret Invasion show. We do know that.
Didn't she bleed red, though?
Probably. I'm sure they can figure something out to explain that away. And Tony brought up something to me on Facebook about how she showed up on people who got blipped at the end of Captain Marvel, when the Black Widow and I think Captain America, is that who it is, are looking at the list, are looking at the names, and her name was on there. Someone who got blipped, which would screw with her backstory there, right?
That's true.
I don't think this is going to be the way it goes. It's way too big of a dream, I guess. But she was in Madripoor. It's home for a lot of X-Men activity. I think she's Mystique.
It'd be rad if she was.
It would be an interesting connection to the mutants. I'm not 100%.
That's where I'm going. I also think the Detroit Lions are going to win the Super Bowl next year. Quote me on it.
I'm not 100% convinced she's the actual power broker.
Okay.
I'm in like two camps. I'm like split between two mindsets. Either the power broker is a title, and she just kind of either killed off or overtook the previous power broker, or she's working for the real power broker, because who was she on the phone with at the end of the episode?
My guess is Sebastian Shaw, because it's Mystique. I don't know why she would be named Sebastian Shaw. That doesn't really flow, but go with it. Go with it.
Could be Magneto.
What?
Well, if it's Mystique, then Magneto, Brotherhood of Evil Mutants.
Okay, but you're not saying that Sharon is Magneto,
No,
right?
no.
Okay.
The other person on the end of the phone.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I honestly don't know. I don't know what to think. I personally have never been a huge fan of Sharon. She's just kind of like there to me. So I'm like, oh, she's just gonna come in now and be like this, like, two-faced baddie. I'm like, whatever. I feel like I want it to be something cool like that. Like, I want it to not actually be Sharon. But I don't know. Maybe it is. Maybe we're just overthinking it.
Maybe.
Tony says could be Justin Hammer she's talking to, which was from Iron Man 2, right?
Yep.
Yep. Okay, she's remembering now.
Of course I remember Iron Man 2. Black Widow's in it.
That's, what's his name, right? Played Justin Hammer. He's famous.
Oh, I can't remember his name.
Actor names.
Greg Kinnear? Is that it?
Is it? I don't know. I can only think of Sam Rockwell, who was Mandarin, fake Mandarin, second fake Mandarin.
Yeah, Sam Rockwell.
It was Sam Rockwell?
Yeah.
Then who the frick was Mandarin?
Mandarin?
The second Mandarin.
You mean like Iron Man 3?
Yeah.
Mandarin?
Yeah. I thought...
It's Kingsley.
No, the other guy, the flame one. He's like, I'm the actual Mandarin, but he wasn't. Aldrich Killian. Guy Pearce.
Guy Pearce, yes.
Okay, so I thought Guy Pearce was Sam Rockwell, but Sam Rockwell was actually Justin Hammer. Okay. Thanks, Tony.
We just did the worst game of 6 Degrees of Kevin Bacon that was ever... Who's that guy that played the dude in the other movie with that other second guy?
Yeah, the second. Well, now there's 3 Mandarins in the MCU confirmed.
Yeah.
Because there's Trevor the actor.
So let's do that. Let's talk about some MCU news that has come up, because you mentioned that there's some Shang-Chi news and some... What else news?
Oh, I said there was Hawkeye news, but I didn't realize that it was for the Avengers video game. I thought it was more news about the Hawkeye show.
Oh, okay.
But they're bringing Kate Bishop into the Avengers video game, which obviously, because they're ramping up towards the Hawkeye show, which I'm excited for. I want to see some Kate Bishop. I like Haley Steinfeld.
Yep, me too.
Who was
Don't
also...
like that the Young Avengers #1 is so expensive to buy now. Speaking of which, oh man, I got to tell you this. So there's this comic book series by Boom called Something is Killing the Children, and I almost bought it like not that long ago, and it was like $20 maybe. It wasn't a lot of money. And now they've announced that it's going to be a TV show, and I went to look today, and it's $1,000.
That's a lot of money.
Yeah, that's some high speculation because that show hasn't even come out yet. Like The Walking Dead #1 is that much money because that is already proven to be an successful TV show.
That's true.
Anyway, back to the MCU. They also announced Captain America 4.
Is that confirmed?
That's what I'm seeing everywhere, but it's not going to be with Chris Evans.
Well, I figured it's going to be the new Captain America.
Yeah.
But is Bucky going to be in it?
I'm going to double check, but I'm pretty sure it's confirmed.
All right. Yes. Fact check this, please. Because if you don't, Tony's going to do it faster than you.
Yeah. Captain America 4 confirmed just after Falcon and the Winter Soldier finale.
I'm down for this.
But separate from the rumored Chris Evans return. So Chris Evans returning in something else.
Time to make Bucky a lead. Yes.
I would love that. Please. I deserve this, right?
Yes, we all deserve more Bucky.
I just see him lead.
I love how throughout this show, Bucky and Sam, like, you know, they had to go to therapy together and stuff. I mean, they didn't have to, but they did.
They're
and,
becoming
like, in the
best
end,
friends.
Yeah, like, in the end, they became, like, really good friends, and that just, I love it. It's really nice.
I'm
super cheesy.
I'm glad that Bucky is opening it up now, because his only friend was Cap for the longest time, Steve Rogers, and even when he was a bad guy, Steve was the only person who believed in him, and that kept him going. And now he was reclused, got himself some therapy,
He's doing great.
Worked through his problems, made a friend, got that friend a gift. He got him a new suit.
He's a person now.
He's a friend.
Yeah.
What'd you think of the suit?
I love it.
I love it.
Yeah.
It's so nice.
So comic accurate too.
Is it?
Yeah.
I can't wait to go back to Comic-Con and see Falcon Cap cosplayers.
Yes.
Like, I'm just so excited to see it.
For being able to go to a Comic-Con again. And a comic shop again.
Imagine Mike Talks Marvel at Rhode Island Comic-Con.
Tried it.
A panel.
Been there, tried that.
What's with ears sticking out everywhere, says Tony. Yeah, I mean, they're popping. You don't want them squished. You know, you got to be able to hear.
What?
Because Falcon's head covering, his ears pop out.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, isn't that how it looks in the comics too, or are they covered in the comics?
Hey, you know what's cool about this whole Tony dynamic? Is
What?
he keeps saying that he can check on things and stuff.
Yeah.
He should just be the official show fact checker.
He could be.
Oh
He
my
can be
God.
like our ad moderator for the show.
It's like a Fox News show where I'll just say a bunch of nonsense for an hour, and then he can fact check it all and be like, nope, that's not accurate at all.
He's our guy in the chair. Just like Ned from Spider-Man Homecoming. He's our guy in the chair. Which, just to off topic, but I did just mention the character. Do you think he'll ever be the Hobgoblin or no?
Wait, I just want to talk about how Ashley just took a sip of water from Dum Dum's face.
Did I? Great. Fantastic.
Yeah, I didn't find a background fast enough that I liked, so I'm just stuck with the regular one.
I've already changed mine once throughout the episode.
I noticed
Get
that.
on it.
I noticed that.
I had to
Alright,
get
quick. You
behind.
guys talk about Spider-Man stuff. I gotta run outside and take a picture of the moon. I'll be right back.
Yesterday, I went to the beach. So we're gonna have Mike Talks Marvel featuring Captain America
featuring the whole Howling Commandos.
Oh, that's true. Yes, the Howling Commandos.
The Howling costumes.
Yeah.
Is that the same Ned? I think the character is like an amalgamation of Ned from Homecoming.
Yeah. What about?
Tony says, "Is that the same Ned as the Hobgoblin?" And
Oh.
because you pointed this out, he's a lot like Genki in
Yeah.
the comics.
Yeah.
He's like that mixed with
Alice's buddy.
Ned from who is the Hobgoblin. I personally don't want them to ever make him the Hobgoblin. I like him too much. I like him being Spider-Man's friend, the guy in the chair. One of the first few people to know who Spidey was. But if they do ever make him the Hobgoblin, I can understand.
I always thought Hobgoblin was an underrated villain for Spider-Man, so I would like to see him show up in a movie, but maybe a different guy.
Yeah, and that'll circumnavigate the Green Goblin always showing up in a Spider-Man movie.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's discuss this. So, as we have said on every episode of Mike Talks Marvel, we got Silk back in the comics.
We did.
We did it. And then last week, we said something about Sony and Disney, right?
I did. I requested that they play nice and put, Spider-Man with the MCU on Disney Plus and all that jazz, and it came true.
The next day it was announced.
Literally the next day.
So we decided that the higher-ups at Sony, Disney, and Marvel are listening to us at all times and really respect our opinions.
We also think they're Tony.
We also think they're Tony. Yes, Tony is like the Illuminati of the comic book world. He makes things happen. So I just want to say now, Snowguard needs a solo series. We need to make that happen.
I agree.
In general, I think Marvel does a really great job at creating new characters and then doing nothing with them. Like Miles Morales, Kamala Khan, and Spider-Gwen are like the only three modern heroes that have really been nonstop pushed by Marvel. All three deserve it and all three should be pushed, but then everyone else gets kind of pushed in the background. Even like Kate Bishop was pushed in the background for a long time and then kind of thrown out every once in a while. Wanda's kids just thrown out once in a while. Wiccan, I mean, if you read the comics, they show up a lot, but none of them are getting solo series or anything like that, but they could and they should.
Yeah, I think they could bring out a lot of characters that are in the comics that you don't really see or hear of much. Some of the lesser known ones, and I think people would really love them because there's so many amazing characters.
Like the Champions group came from the Civil War II event. They sprung from that. There were all these young heroes. They got mad at the adults fighting with each other and said, we're going to do our own thing. And so they could just do that with these young heroes, is make them a central part of a big event. And use that as a catapult for them into their own series. There's always all this talk about people only want Spider-Man and Captain America and all this stuff, and that's the ones that sell. And of course, those ones are always going to be the big sellers. They're legacy. I buy them. But if you don't push the younger characters more, they ain't going to sell. Of course not. You got to push them. America Chavez gets pushed a lot.
Yeah, that's true.
She's another one that she'll be the next one of the big A-list young heroes, which is cool. I like her a lot. She's awesome.
I would love to see just the Young Avengers in general.
Yeah.
But yeah, she is a big one in that group that gets pushed a lot.
Maybe they need to just start a series that's I don't know, the lesser known stories in the Marvel universe, and every couple of issues can be this is what's happening on this part of the world, and then it's these superheroes, and then this is what's happening with these people, and then frame it as this is what's happening while this other stuff is happening.
Yeah, or even just the old Marvel Presents or the Marvel Chillers, those old school things where they had like a run of a character for like 5 or 6 issues, and then a run of another character, and they kind of just saw which ones got the most mail back saying people liked it and stuff. Just do that. Do a short little story with Snowguard, and then switch over to what's his name in the X-Men there, the Glob guy. I forgot his name.
The glob guy.
You know what I'm talking about. He's like
I
see-through.
do.
He's see-through. What's his name?
Oh.
Everyone loves him.
I have these comics too.
I know, I'm just drawing a blank.
Did you see the Hellfire Gala variant covers of the Marauders?
No, I have not.
There is here. I will send one in our...
Glob. It's Glob.
Oh, Glob. I'll send one in the chat. All the way to the right of that photo that I'm sending in our Facebook chat is Iceman. And I think all their outfits are crazy cool, but I want to hear your input on this fashion.
I did.
Oh, that guy.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
I dig it. So they're doing like a fashion event?
If I can. Yeah, it's not gonna let me show it. Frank, you're gonna have to show it.
Oh,
cool with it.
I'm not blurred? Okay.
I mean, you are, but I mean, I have the Howling
Oh, that's right.
Commandos here, so.
Speaking of Marauders, Ashley, how did you know you missed 10 issues of it?
So, I know that I never finished it, and I was like, I think I'm missing like three or four issues. And so I was like, we can stop at the comic book store today. So I looked it up, and then I saw that they were almost on like issue 20, and I've only read up to 5. And I have a lot to catch up on.
That happened to me before with Spider-Man because most comics are monthly, and so I stopped reading comics for like 2 or 3 months for whatever reason. I just was behind, and I went to my comic shop to pick up my comics, and like Miles Morales, I was missing 2 issues, and Miss Marvel, I was missing 3 issues, and then with Spider-Man, there was like 10 issues because I forgot that one's a weekly or bi-weekly. It's just like all the time. There's always Spider-Man.
Yeah. So I'm used to reading, like, they're very short runs. It's like Black Widow, and there was like, Battle Worlds with like Kitty and Star-Lord was very short.
Yeah.
Poison Ivy was like a 10 comic run. So I was here thinking that it was like a 9 or 10 comic run, and I didn't realize how many there were. So
to be fair to you, Marvel does love to stop every issue at 12 and then start at 1 again.
Yeah. So this is like the first time that this has happened.
Tony is curious where you guys purchase your comic books from.
I was going to Fantasy Zone because that was on my way to work. My like home store from where I always had gone is and the place I'll always love the most is Time Capsule.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've been to Time Capsule, but I only go like once a year.
For Free Comic Book Day, where we advertise outside.
I love Time Capsule. I just go in there whenever I can. I used to go to Stadium Comics all the time. I used to love the owner there, but they're not open anymore. And I just found out there's one near me in Connecticut, so I might check that out once I get my second vaccine there.
Yeah, I really just go whatever the closest place to home is because I don't like to go anywhere ever.
Typically
even before the pandemic.
Newberry Comics typically for you.
Yeah,
right?
so I go to Newberry. I go to Toy Vault. When we go to Time Capsule, I pick up comics there. But other than that, it's mostly Toy Vault in Newberry.
And I also I buy a lot online, so Things from Another World is my favorite place to just go shopping and have fun. And then on eBay, I look for certain sellers like Chi-Town Comics I really like. There's a list. I have a whole list of comic shops I buy from on eBay. What does Tony go?
He hasn't said. He just asked where we got ours from, but he might answer soon.
If anybody else is watching, feel free to chime in. Let us.
seems that we have 3 viewers. I'm not 100% if I'm one of those because I'm not technically watching the video. It's just up on the home screen. I can see if I close out if that affects.
Get to me.
We're at 5 viewers.
So
TV, Marvel.
Yep. I think one of them might be you and me.
Oh, I just closed mine out, but we're up to 5 now. I don't.
Gotcha.
Let me refresh the chat.
Welcome to Mike Talks Marvel, guys.
How about this? Check in. Everyone who's watching, say hi.
They're too scared to do that.
Just say hi.
Tony says he hasn't read comics in years because there's no room to build a collection.
Understandable.
Which I feel that immensely because my room is like the size of a closet and I have no more room for comics. Mike was saying how he has, is it Marvel Unlimited?
Yeah.
So he reads his comics on there. But I personally like to have the physical copies of the comics of the characters that I really like Black Widow and Kitty Pryde.
I buy and collect comics. I have hundreds and hundreds of comics, but I also read the digital because there's a lot more that I'd like to read that I'm just not willing to pay for. So that's why I like the digital, because I just read a ridiculous amount of comics. And I also, if there's a comic that comes out that I could be in a movie or have some cool value to it later. I don't mean value in terms of me ever selling it. I mean value in terms of my son being able to say one day, whoa, he has the first appearance of this, that kind of thing. Then I just won't read it, and I'll just read it on digital instead.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I think it's cool to have, the physical copy of the comics, but nothing wrong with digital either.
Yeah. I love the digital for reading them, and I love the comic for just having it and collecting it. And
Right. And variant colors. Variant covers are so much fun.
Yeah, oh yeah.
There's a lot of good comics with great variant covers, and it's like, I don't personally have a major comic book collection. Most of my stuff is from either Free Comic Book Day or things that you don't have room for that you pass my way. I have a few old comics from like garage sales. Like there's a few Star Wars comics I got that way. But it's like some of these things are like that's like art that you just want to hang up on your wall.
I do.
That's true, yeah. If anyone does that, it's definitely Mike.
Yeah. I'll get like 2 copies, and I'll have one to like store away and one to hang up on the wall.
Tony had used to have around 1,600. That's a lot of comics. That's a lot.
And you did sell them to me.
Unbelievable.
Tony, what are you doing?
It's probably close to what I have.
Probably. So you'd buy 2? That's a lot of comics.
Me?
Yeah.
2 of like the same issue?
Yeah.
I have some that I have like 3 or 4 of.
Oh my goodness. And on top of that, you have doubles of comics, and then you have every subscription service known to man for viewing entertainment, like Hulu, Netflix, Disney Plus.
Yeah, well, and I have Marvel Unlimited and Comixology, because Comixology has all the like independent comics. I like to read those too. Yeah, I have Hulu, Netflix, Amazon Prime, Disney Plus, Showtime, HBO Max, Curiosity Stream, so many. I can't even think of them all.
That's too many.
There's more.
Mike talks subscriptions.
We have had this conversation in the past, but I was curious to know the update on your situation, and that's wild to me.
They're not all me. Like I mean, in my house.
With the household, yeah, your family, but like,
yeah,
that's a lot.
I don't either. That's the worst part. In fact, Becky asked last night what we should watch, and I said find something on HBO or Showtime, because I'm paying for them and we never use them.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Now, here's a random curveball question from my side of the court. Frank, I know you don't play an awful lot of video games, and Mike, I don't know about you. So have you played any Marvel games, and if so, do you have a favorite?
Mm-hmm.
I know what mine is.
Okay.
Mine is Marvel Ultimate Alliance on the PlayStation.
Yes. That's mine too.
It's clunky. It's fun. There's characters. That's how like I learned who Miss Marvel was.
Combine moves. I like when you combine the moves
Yeah,
with two people.
yeah.
I haven't played video games other than like chintzy phone games in like 3 or 4 years, maybe longer. But I almost got a new video game system just to play the Spider-Man game that came out.
Yeah.
There's Miles Morales one now too, right?
Yes.
Yes.
I want to play it.
Yeah. I haven't played that, but I have watched it be played, and it's just so awesome. Graphics in video games are just so good these days compared to what we used to play on like PlayStation 2. So just like, it still amazes me even to this day. I'm like, wow, this looks so nice.
I was just reminded via just reminiscing on my video games. I did play on the Wii Spider-Man Shattered Dimensions, I believe, where it's Spider-Man Noir 2099, and I forget what the other one was, but it's like you play as what's that?
Scarlet Spider?
Maybe I'm iffy because it was like in the Wii days, and I haven't played the Wii since I've watched Ashley play the Wii, but it was a good Spider-Man game. I really liked it, and Neil Patrick Harris was the main Peter Parker Spider-Man, and I was like, he's a good Peter Parker.
He did his voice in the cartoon too, the one from like it was like 2005 maybe. Oh no, 99 maybe 99. I'm gonna look it up.
Another good Peter Parker voice actor, which I didn't expect, was Drake Bell, who played one of the recent Spider-Man cartoons, and he was surprisingly good. Drake from Drake and Josh, our boy, he was a surprisingly good Spidey-Man.
2003.
2003.
That was the MTV one.
Gotcha.
I'm wearing a Spider-Man shirt right now. I didn't even realize it.
Look at you.
He's hearing these years makes you feel old, but then Tony comes in and says that he played Spider-Man on the Atari in 1978. So, PlayStation wasn't that long ago.
That's true. And I was like this close from buying the Marvel Lego video game on Xbox because it was on sale, and I was like, one, I love Lego video games. Two, I love Marvel, and it's like you just sometimes want to have a goofy fun time with some Lego games.
I believe one of the only Marvel games that I have played is an X-Men game on the PlayStation 2. Could have jumped that up, but I'm fairly certain. I just have to go check the drawer downstairs, but
it's very
for some
possible.
reason, it's there.
You ever played versus Capcom?
No.
I haven't.
Like, I know what it is, but I've never played it. I'm more of a Zelda type girl.
That's a fighting game, right?
Yeah.
It's just straight up fighting. Okay.
Worst comic book video game I ever played was Spawn.
Okay.
That.
Now, was that based on the movie or the video or the comics?
I'm gonna guess the movie. I don't remember now. It was a long time ago. But it was like one of those like dollar purchases at the video game store.
Oh.
Used copy, It sounded Spawn. Let's check it out.
Great.
And more after that.
Yeah. Some video games just... Some are worth it for how bad they are, and others just aren't. Try...
Spider-Man text game for the Commodore 64, says Tony.
I don't even know what that is.
The Commodore 64?
Oh yeah, that was
It's like a computer. right?
It was a video game system, but it was very, very basic.
Gotcha.
But the text-based games, I remember those.
Yeah, I don't, but I know the first escape room I did outside the riddle room had a puzzle with it was like a text-based video game, and you had to like play it, and I had no clue what was happening, so Kara had to do it.
Yeah.
It's like choose your own adventures.
Oh, like
Choose your own adventures are the best.
like
It's sort of like, you know.
Yeah.
kind of like the Oregon Trail.
Oh no.
You died of dysentery
No.
every time. Died of dysentery.
Independence, Missouri, all the way through the Oregon Trail.
Mike talks video games.
Well,
Yeah.
actually, we talk about a lot of things.
With that one.
Yeah.
I mean,
I
everyone.
mean, hey, listen, I could do a whole takeover where I just talk about nothing but video games, so don't.
We talk
try
about
me
a
on
lot
that.
of things. Video games are part of the a lot of things umbrella. So if you have a hot take on video games right now, give it to us.
Yeah, have any of the 5 people chimed in other than Tony? Anyone
No.
say hi?
No, I told you they wouldn't.
But
Say hi.
we are down to 3.
Oh,
So some people might have just popped in just to support and then popped out. Which,
they realize like, nah.
they're like, these people are still not professional. It's only been 3 live streams. Yeah,
Nice. Get it together, huh?
I'm trying.
Hey, we got it together. We got backgrounds.
That's true. We got backgrounds. We got a fancy intro. Have you guys been enjoying my thumbnails on YouTube?
I love
You're
your.
doing a great job with them.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's really awesome.
It looks professional.
We've got 7 subscribers on YouTube.
Wow.
I think one of those is me.
I'm sure.
One of those is one of our former podcast fans on Twitter went by Mr. Mugen, I believe. And I believe that's also his name on YouTube. He's also a gamer, a streamer, an old coworker of mine, a friend. Helped me out figuring out OBS last night, actually. He messaged me and gave me some tips, and I was very thankful for it. And he asked me when our schedule was so he could check in live sometime. He said he works Tuesdays, but he's going to try and get in some live streams. But I was very thankful for that. Like,
Yeah.
one of the best of boys.
Yeah. I like that on YouTube. Our friends are called Mike and His Amazing Friends.
Well, of course. Of course. Yes, actually, I would like to now direct a question specifically at Tony. Tony, have you seen our YouTube channel? Have you looked at our thumbnails? What is your input? Our one gracious fan and active vocal piece for the fandom. We'll give him some time to answer. Oh, give me a sec. He's looking.
Yeah. Play
Wait,
some Jeopardy music while we wait.
Oh,
What
I
was
don't
the
have.
question?
Oh, I just wanted him to. I wanted to know what he thought of our YouTube channel, the thumbnails, and all the little tiny things that I've been working on the side to kind of make Mike Talks Marvel just a little bit more professional.
Speaking of Jeopardy music, I think that should be like one of the early dating questions when you go on a date with somebody is who's your favorite former Jeopardy champion? That's when you'll get to know a person's character.
See, I don't know any of them by name except for Ken.
Ken.
Yeah, and he was the guy who like looked very uncomfortable.
He's the goat.
Um,
Mine's Colby Burnett. Well, no, mine is Lee DeGeorge and Amy Duncanson because I know them. but my favorite viewing Jeopardy contestant was Colby Burnett.
well, Mike, since you love Jeopardy so much, I think that you should either make a Marvel Jeopardy game for Frank and I to play and our followers to play along with, or just like a trivia episode or something.
Done. We'll
Cool.
stick to movies.
Okay.
Good.
You know,
Just
'cause
Marvel. Just Marvel movies.
Hmm?
Just like Marvel movies in general.
Yeah, we'll stick MCU. We can do MCU.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right.
You
So
guys can make comic book ones for me if you want.
It's true.
we can see what we can come up with.
Tony says thumbnails look great or look good. Thank you, Tony. I appreciate you actually taking the time to check them out. I've been, since we are ahead of schedule where we have a grace period between the time it streams to the time it goes to YouTube, I've actually had time to work on thumbnails and to actually sit and goof around. The thumbnail for next week's upload, so videos upload on Mondays onto our YouTube channel. So the thumbnail for next week is going to be one of my favorite ones that I've done so far. It has Mike as Zemo holding the mask, me with my blue falcon wings, and Ashley with her Bucky arm. Fun fact about that, Mike. So in the picture, you got one hand up and the other hand's holding the mask.
Got
I had to add the fingers because both hands were open, and I knew I wanted you to be Zemo related. So it's like, oh, what if he's just holding the mask? So I had to find a picture of someone's hand like this, and then edit the thumb out, and then edit your hand out and put it on the mask.
Why are you telling them our secrets?
Because I had a fun time. I was laughing the whole time I was doing it because it was just
Why
ridiculous.
did you put the mask on my face?
It wouldn't have looked as good.
Because I got a pretty face.
Yeah.
It's true. We can't hide the face of the title character.
Exactly. It's Mike Talks Marvel. Frankly, Ashley, we talk about a lot of things.
Yes.
Baron Michael.
Actually, Z-Mike,
Z-Mike.
Z-Mike, the Winter Ashley, and Franken.
Stein?
No, just Franken. But on the subject of games, kind of rewinding it a little bit, I do have a game for you guys that I was going to do a long time ago, but then we stopped streaming because there was like some kind of traffic jam in the world or whatever. I don't know what happened. But there are you either of you familiar with the Cartoon Network show cartoon called Codename Kids Next Door?
Heard of it.
Okay, but neither of you have watched it.
No.
All right. So there was a Christmas-themed episode that was a spoof of Marvel Comics, and there are mutants in this episode that are based off of Marvel characters. And I'm gonna give you the character's name, and I want you guys to guess who that person is in the Marvel universe, like what they're parodying. All right.
Are we doing like a countdown, or are we like say it at the same time, or are we just like?
Sure, I'll give you a countdown.
All right, let's do it.
Let's go.
All right. So the first one is Nutcracker. 3, 2, 1.
Iron Man.
Wait, did you say they played X-Men?
Marvel characters in general.
Oh, Nutcracker.
If you're thinking X-Men, you can make a guess based on X-Men.
Are you steering me in the right direction?
I'm just telling you facts.
Nutcracker is going to be Sabretooth.
Unfortunately, Tony was the only person to get it correct. It was Nightcrawler.
Okay.
He's a small wooden Nutcracker person who teleports, much like Nightcrawler. All right, so that's 1 point to Tony. Next character, Wintergreen.
Winter Soldier.
3, 2, 1.
Emma Frost.
Or Hulk.
Wintergreen.
I'm going with Winter Soldier.
Going with Winter Soldier, and you're going with Emma Frost. Final answer?
I guess.
Iceman.
I want to see if Tony can get this one. Wintergreen.
It's like a type of gum.
Maybe if you think about it syllabically. Oh, he has no idea. It's Wolverine.
Oh, it's just okay.
Okay.
Now, this character does not have metal claws like Wolverine does, but he does have a different type of claw. Bonus points if you can correctly tell me what his claws are made out of.
Icicles.
Spearmint.
Like candy canes?
They are candy canes.
Okay. Yeah.
He's got a skeleton of pure peppermintium. I love this show. I love that they did this. All right. The next character is Coniferous. 3, 2, 1.
Are you saying carnivorous or carnivorous?
Coniferous. Like a tree.
Coniferous?
Like a tree.
Groot.
It's not
Unfortunately,
gonna be the names though. It's gonna be like a similar name.
Yeah. But hey, great minds think alike, so
Yeah,
maybe they're doing it wrong.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, this was made prior to Guardians of the Galaxy being that popular, so it's not Groot related. I'll give you guys.
I'm going to tell you what's happening right now. You're saying coniferous, and in my mind, I'm hearing Maleficus, so I can't think of anything.
I'm hearing carnivorous.
No,
Right.
like conifer, like a conifer tree.
I know what you're saying, but I'm not hearing that.
All right.
Is it Carnage?
It is not. Tony has not come in with an answer yet, so I'm gonna hit you guys with it's Colossus.
That's yeah, that one's bad.
That was. I mean, it's a kid show, but instead of having a metal exterior, he has a pine needle exterior. And the last one, I think, is a combination of two characters. I'm not 100% certain. But this one is Snow Angel. 3, 2, 1.
Iceman and Angel?
Close enough. It's more Storm and Angel.
Oh.
And she has, like, the powers of creating snow-based weather and snowballs. But I just wanted to bring a game, since we said that there will be possible games in the future. I was holding on to that one for a while. I thought it was a dumb, show that did their parodies. I appreciated it. I think Wintergreen was my favorite with the pure peppermintium. Like, they didn't need to do that, but they did.
Funny. That was a good one.
Yeah.
Carnivorous, I'm not gonna forgive though.
Coniferous, no.
No, it's unforgivable.
Yeah, no.
I'm sorry.
Wintergreen is good though. That was a good one.
That was a good one.
That is good. Maybe we can come up with, like, little games for, like, bi-weekly episodes or something where each of us presents some kind of a game.
Well, we don't have shows for a little while, so
Yeah, we've got a grace period. A game period.
yeah. I'll come up with some games for next week. And I wanted to talk about this week, and I forgot to do it, how to get into comic books.
Okay.
Because I think there are 3 things that hold people back from getting into comic books. And if you were watching this and you have another one, feel free to tell me. But I think it's price, because they're not cheap. Not knowing where to jump in, because there's so many crossovers and all these different events and stuff. And I can tell you how to avoid that too. And then the fear of going into a comic shop and meeting a bunch of gatekeepers. Which I will also tell you how to avoid. Although I will say that if you've never actually been into your local comic shop, you should check, because in my experience, most of them are not run by people like that. They're usually cool people. But just in case yours is, I'll tell you how to avoid that too.
Is that what we're going to talk about next week, since we don't have any shows to talk about?
Yes.
Perfect.
Cool.
And I'll have new comic books to talk about. And Tony wants us to watch that old Spider-Man cartoon.
God. I got Pokemon Snap to play this weekend.
Oh, that's
So,
right. Maybe
Maybe
I will take on the responsibility of watching one of those old terrible shows and then explaining the story to you guys.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm fine with that.
That way I can save Ashley from having to watch it.
Can't make me watch anything.
Have
Exactly.
you guys checked out Invincible yet?
No.
On Amazon Prime?
I don't
What?
have
Not yet.
Amazon.
Oh, man.
I do, but he's always at work, and when he's not at work, I'm at work. So,
Yeah.
It's one of those situations.
We have a finite amount of time between when our schedules align to watch things. Like, we didn't even get to Falcon and Winter Soldier till yesterday.
Yeah.
I tend to watch shows in 5-minute increments as I'm falling asleep.
Is that a good way to retain episode information?
What I do.
Right.
Except for the Marvel shows, which I watch while my son is eating lunch.
There you go.
There you go.
All right. Well, I guess we've got a plan for next week then.
We do indeed.
Absolutely.
And until then,
Excelsior later.